We can talk a little bit. I had something I wanted to talk about. Man, my memory is crap. I had something I wanted to talk about. I might remember while we wait. What did I want to talk about? Sorry about the dog snoring in the back. Man, I can't remember. I can't remember. But it was about something about current events, so I'm sure that someone will mention it and we'll talk about it. We'll address it. I can't. I'm trying to remember. Wow, memory is bad. We'll see. We'll see. Good afternoon. We don't move in fear. I'm pretty sure you're the first one here right now. Oh, we got some more people. My bad. My bad. I hope your afternoon is good. Hey, Steve the Pigeon. How's it going, man? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm all good. How are you? Hey, Taraya. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing good. Hey, Deb. Shame. Shame of what? Shame I forgot what I was gonna talk about? Shame about what? Hey, SKS. How's it going? I've just been working on editing videos. That's what I've been working on lately. Just putting out short form, short form versions of the interviews I did, just so that it can be more digestible. Um, People seem to be enjoying them. I'm glad. Just had the neighbors doing the banging and drilling on the wall. Losers, eh? Losers. Oh yeah, I remember what I wanted to talk about. I remember what I wanted to talk about. It's actually not a current event. It's something I had just seen. We don't move in fear says, "What is your opinion on the Rihanna situation? The person claims to be getting gang stalked by Rihanna." You know, I watched a CBS report on that with Gail King and two other dudes. They were talking about her, and they showed some footage of that girl who let off some shots at Rihanna's home. If you guys are unaware, there is a stalker who let off some shots from, I believe, an AR-15 on Rihanna's house. And thank God nobody got hurt. But I saw some of the footage and I was listening to her, and I can honestly say that it really looks like she's not only in the footage that she had pre-recorded where she was talking about Rihanna, it not only seems that she's talking about Rihanna, it seems like she's talking to her, like like as if she was currently hearing her voice, because you can hear her say "shut up" to like to someone, you know, and she was talking to Rihanna and then told her to shut up, and it's like Rihanna's not in the room, baby. What's going on with you, you know? I do believe that I haven't seen uh, her claim that she's being gang stalked. I have I have heard her claim that you know they're trying to like ruin her life. They're trying to unalive her. That I saw. Now, if you can find the if you can help me find her saying the actual term gang stalked, I would actually really be grateful. But I do believe that she's hearing Rihanna's voice uh, in her voice to call. Like I fully believe that. You know, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I know what that is. Um, so I haven't heard her say gang stalked or V2K, but it does look like what it is. Um, I feel really bad for her. It seems like she was having a really hard time, and I'm glad that no one got hurt. I'm just glad no one got hurt. But yeah, I do believe, though I haven't heard her say the term gang stalked, or gang stalking, I do believe that she's a targeted individual. All the symptoms were there. Unfortunately, were there. Unfortunately, the issue with the symptoms of being gang stalked and having V2K and directed energy weapons and things of that nature is that they're pretty much the same as schizophrenia. It looks the same to someone who's, you know, on the outside looking in. It looks exactly the same. Hey, I'm glad I'm happy to be here for you, Tarai. Your presence is always very much enjoyed in the chat. Um, I like to talk with intelligent people. Thank you, Shay Love. Thank you. Man, I was watching this video. I don't want to forget it, so I'm just gonna write it down. But I want to hear your thoughts. What are you guys' thoughts on the girl that was on the girl that basically opened fire on Rihanna's house? What are your thoughts? Share them in the chat. Let me know. Um, I'm just gonna write down what I want to talk about after before I forget. And I think it's a really important message for you guys to hear. It's not like current events or anything like that. It's just like a message of hope. All right. V2K indeed. Yeah, I do think that she was experiencing V2K, unfortunately. Um, Now, of course, these are just speculations. I could be wrong. There's a possibility that, but it's just too. I don't know enough. I don't know enough about her. I don't know enough about her experience. I don't know enough. I just don't know enough. All I know is that there are very little reasons for someone to do something like that. How did I end up in this lad's room? I don't know. Leave. What are you, why are you still here? What? You're all in. Oh, well, stay. Happy Wednesday. Thank you, Shay Love. Much appreciated. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Happy Wednesday to you as well. COINTELPRO MK Ultra operations. Yeah, I mean, quite on. Let me just pull up Rihanna stalker. Prosecutor says ASAP Rocky, 3 kids were home. So it's Ivana Lizette Ortiz of Orlando, Florida, was charged with attempted unaliving of Rihanna, along with 10 counts of assault on a person. You know, I'll be honest with you. All I saw was a CBS report on it and a very short post that Ivana, Miss Ortiz, had posted where she was talking about basically they're trying to unalive her, or Rihanna trying to unalive her. And when she said that, I was like, that doesn't sound right. But then she started talking to a voice as if it was there. And that was strange. I don't want to say what it is. I don't know what it looks like to me. It looks like someone who's engaging with their V2K as if it was a real person. That's what it looks like to me. I did also hear that she was previously arrested in Los Angeles for domestic violence. I don't judge, because oftentimes you can get arrested for domestic violence and be the actual victim. Now, was she the victim? Who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying that this is what they were saying. And then, Gayle King, who is Oprah Winfrey's best friend, was saying, well, she's clearly disturbed. And it's like, yeah, she's disturbed. But what is she disturbed by? Because it's easy to look at it and say that she's disturbed from a mental illness, but she could also be disturbed from government funded torture. you know. I just, in the case that it is the case, in the case that it is the case, I just wish that she had someone to tell her, you know, what was happening to her. If it is the case that it was V2K and not a schizophrenic schizophrenic induced delusion, I just wish that she had someone in her corner to let her know it's okay, you know. It's just a chat bot. There, you know, you're not, the person talking to you is not actually Rihanna. You know, when my one of my siblings had a similar situation where they could hear, he could hear his roommate talk about him from the next room, and then he would go to his roommate and tell him like, because he was not talking nicely about him. My brother's like does not take disrespect at all, and he just went in the next room and he was like, you know, what's your problem? And of course his roommate was like, what? You know, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Now, I'm paraphrasing. This is a story that he sort of tried to tell me, but it's very hard to communicate with my brother. Well, with my brother, with my sibling, it's very hard to communicate. It's hard to get him to tell you stuff. It's hard to get him to open up. I've completely I've completely given up on it. You know, I love my brother. I I don't I love, you know, I love my brother, but I'm not pulling the hairs out of his nose, so to speak. You know, if he wants to talk about it, I'm here. I'll listen. I'll be glad to. If he doesn't want to talk about it, that's fine. But I'm not going to be like, please, please tell me what's going. No, you know, there's really no. It's not gonna go well, anyways. You know. Sorry about that. Let me just look through the comments. How you doing, brother and family? I'm doing good, Brendan. I hope you're doing good too. I'm doing really good. I can get a shout out from my friend. You can get blocked real fast. Uh, Gone. She has a YouTube page and constantly talked about Rihanna. Does she? I would like to. I would like to see it. What's her YouTube page? Well, it might be her name actually. And I don't think I'm going to be able to find it at this point, right? Strongly doubt that. Now that she's in the news, I strongly doubt I'll be able to find her page. That's if it's still up, right? You know, don't send me the link because I won't be able to see it. But if you can tell me the name of her page, please send it over. I'd like to see her page. I want to hear. I want to hear her. I want to experience seeing her in action to sort of make a judgment call on, or you know, have a better educated opinion on what her situation is. I will say from the short clip I saw of her saying they're trying to, you know, y'all want to unalive me, and then saying shut up as if she was responding to a voice. I was like, whoa. I did hear her say the word gang stalk, but from what I saw, well, from what I was hearing, it reminded me of gang stalking. I think she was getting targeted and she let it get to her mentally. Yeah, yeah. Again, this is the reason why I do what I do, you know? It's because I know there are people who are going through this and have absolutely no idea what gang stalking is. They don't even know gang stalking exists. And they're just, you know, doing their best in a situation that is impossible. This is an impossibility of a situation, you know, in the sense that most of us, before we were privy to the experience of being gang stalked, most of us thought that all of this is impossible. It can't happen. They can't hit me with directed energy weapons. They can't, you know, microwave me from a distance, you know, behind a wall. They can't microwave me while I'm driving. They can't. beam voices into my head. Like that's an impossibility. And you don't if you don't find out until it happens to you, then you can interpret it as many different things, and you can also unfortunately interpret it as it being real. Like it's actually Rihanna talking to you. It's actually Beyonce talking to you rather than an AI chatbot, or someone talking to you through an AI chatbot where they change their voices or they're just writing things and the voice is speaking in the voice of Rihanna and Beyonce, which is like the easiest thing. There's so much, samples of their voices online in interview and songs that it's very easy to turn text into voice with their voices. Anyways, I feel really sorry for her. She's whatever her situation is, whether it be an actual schizophrenic delusion or gang stalking, I feel sorry that she didn't have anyone with proper information in her corner to let her know the best way to handle the situation and to talk her off the ledge of doing what she did. I think with Rihanna's story, it sounded very spiritual to me. I wonder if the lady felt some evil spirit telling her to do something. I'm glad Rihanna and her family are okay. I'm glad Rihanna and her family are okay. Definitely. I think that's the most important thing to say right now is thank God no one got hurt. Thank God. Because Rihanna was home with her babies. So thank God no one got hurt. And hopefully the courts will be able to help her more than just punishing her. I pray for that. It's a reminder to everyone getting targeted to stay strong mentally. Yes, 100%. Um, and this is what I want to talk about actually in a second. B2K using Rihanna's voice through AI. Yeah, that's exactly what I think it was. That's exactly what I think it was. Anyone's voice can be easily copied and used through recordings. 100%. What's up, Pulse Point? I hope everyone is well. Hey, Mindy, how's it going? Mindy, are you? I think I follow your page. Are you the one who um, does homesteading, or am I mistaken? My memory is bad. God, they say that Rihanna knows who she is. Really, really, is that so? Sorry about that. Is that so? I'd like to know. I mean, I'm not seeing anything of the sort. I doubt it. I doubt it. Are you doing call-ins today? Nope. Last moment, Ortiz. Last moment, Ortiz. Damn. Thanks, Dad. Hold on. Let me find that. Last moment, Ortiz. Let's look through channels. I guess it's gone. I can't find it. I can't find it. Last moment, Ortiz. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything. Last name Ortiz. Oh, last name Ortiz. She's not well, obviously. Most people don't even know they are being targeted. It's made to look common and ordinary, just an accident. Yeah, I will say. So, When I do my interviews, the first question I always ask people is, when was the first time you started noticing that strange things were happening? And for me, oh, I have visitors. Sorry. For me, the moment where I started noticing that strange things were happening was I used to be on a Pitbull forum, and people on the forum were in the chat room, and they would talk about things that I said or did the day before, or they would talk about private things in my life, or just make allusions to it. Nothing ever like direct, but make allusions to it. And I was always very confused, like, well, that's weird. But this keeps happening. And then people that I was talking to on that forum would stop talking to me out of the blues, no explanation, nothing, just stop. They would stop talking to me, and I thought, that's strange, but it's not as strange as um, them talking to each other or to me about things that I said or did the day before, or even that day. That was such a strange thing, but never in my wildest dream would I guess, oh, it's because they're spying on me. Because who has time for that, right? Like, who has the energy to put into spying on a nobody? I mean, for all intents and purposes, I am no one. You know, I'm special to myself. I love myself. I love my life. I think I'm special, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm nobody. The effort that it would take in order to orchestrate a whole gang stalking operation based on traumatizing a person through making them feel like they're being watched 24/7 by watching them, maybe not 24/7, but by, actually spying on them. It's like, who has time for this or the will to do this? I couldn't fathom it. It wasn't even like, oh, I think this is happening, but I'm not gonna go too deep into it because it would be too crazy. It was just like, it didn't even cross my mind. So I think you're definitely right. Most people don't even know they're being targeted until it starts ramping up and up and up and up. And even as it was ramping up, the only reason that I started to realize that it was happening is when it turned into workplace mobbing and workplace directed conversation. I remember at one point I was watching a TV show where there was this kid who had cancer that my ex girlfriend at the time was watching, and I was just like, I remember saying the words because I was trying not to cry. I was trying not to cry, and I was saying the words, this is just too sad, you know? And I went to work the next day, and the girl sitting next to me, the lady sitting next to me, who was definitely in on my gang stalking, I remember her saying, "Did you watch that show yesterday with the girl, blah, 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 and all that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "This is just too sad." And she just stared at me, and I was just like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "That's I'm not gonna lie. At the time it happened, I didn't even think anything of it. I just thought, oh, that's funny. I said the same thing. That was it. And then of course there were a bunch of other things that happened that made me realize that, oh no, that these people are spying on me, and they have been for quite a while. And then that's when it's like all unraveled, and I sort of realized what was happening. And then I had a couple of experiences, and then I just played ostrich. I just told myself, like, no one's coming out and talking to me about it. No one's admitting to it. It must be in my head. And I just decided I'm gonna pretend that it is. I'm just gonna pretend it is, because at this point, what else can I do? And so for a couple of years, I pretended that it was happening in my head until I broke up with that girl that I was talking about. And then think in 2020, Christmas 2019 actually. And then from that point on in 2020, things just got progressively way worse. And I started losing friends, losing family members, not as in like their death, but They're definitely dead to me. But they turned on me. And eventually I put it together that, oh, this is real. This is real. Yeah. You have to learn to not give a. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can understand how hard it would be for someone who's going through V2K, especially if it's 24/7. But the only option is to the only way to deal with gang stalking is to pretend it's not happening. It's the only way. Like anyone, and this is what I want to talk about in a second as well. The only way to deal with it is to pretend it's not happening, and anyone that you feel is in on it has to immediately be dead to you. There is no relationship to be had. They will not come out and tell you the truth. They have made a choice. In order to betray you in such a way where they start to abuse you covertly and they join them, this person is never going to one day wake up and suddenly have a conscience and admit to you what they did or what they were into or what the plan is. It's just not going to happen. The whole mentality of a person who's even able to join in on that kind of abuse is not someone who's salvageable. You know what I mean? It's just this person has made a decision that reflects who they are. And they're not children, they're adults. Who they are is who they'll be for quite a while. So yeah, this is not normal at all, not at all. I went hiking in an area with no cell phone services and they still followed me. Yeah, probably through satellite drones, more than likely. Most engage with the frequency based weapons and don't even know. Yep. Is it just me, or has anyone else noticed people are starting to look like avatars? For instance, Oprah, she looks like an avatar. I don't know what you're talking about. I went hiking in an area. Saw that. It's a problem for us to have to give peace, family. Sorry, I don't get it. Told me that they didn't want me to think that they were following me. Well, anything they say, everything they say is a manipulation. It's always a manipulation. When you're dealing with a gang stalker, everything they say is a manipulation. Give no importance to what they say. None. Zero. It's either a lie or a manipulation. Even when they tell you the truth, even when they're not lying, it's a manipulation. So, take it with a grain of salt. Do you have a way for people to call in and chat, or are you just doing it this way with this time with no call in? I never do call ins. It's not happening. Some are avatars, in my opinion. Fake people, fake world. Hey, thanks, Kim. Kim. Kimbree. Whaley. Whale. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Kimbree. Kimbree A. Whaley. Whaley. Thank you. Much appreciate. I appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you very much for your support. I need all the support I can get. You know what, guys? Since you're in the chat, if you can do me a small favor, a very small favor, it'll cost you nothing. Um, Look, if you guys are not on your phones, if you're on, yeah, I mean, you can pretty much do it on your phones as well, but you would have to leave the live and come back. But if you can go in right next to the subscribe button, there is a little bell. Click that bell, and I want you to click on all, right? And what's going to happen is you're going to get all my notifications. So when I put a video out, when I'm on live, you'll get everything, because when the bell is hit at personalized, it'll show you like maybe when I'm live, maybe if I put a video out, and maybe you won't get anything, right? So just in order to get all the notifications of every single time I'm online or every single time I post a video, click the little bell and then click all, all notifications, right? I would much appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking. I have narc abuse channel. I'm about to publish a book. Oh, well, I do remember that I am subscribed to you. I'm just gonna confirm that because I'm saying that, but I'm like being way too confident about my memory here. In these meanderings. In these meanderings. Yeah, I was being too confident about my memory, but I'm subscribed now. You just went from 66 to 67. Sorry, 67 to 68 subscribers. So uh, I'll check out your videos. All right. How are we going to get gang stalking out of the conspiracy theory corner? It's very easy. It's very easy. Um, all we have to do in order to get gang stalking out of the conspiracy theory is every single one of us speaks up. What I'm doing right now, everybody does it. If all of us, starts speaking out, showing our faces and saying, my name is, I live in, and I am the victim of organized harassment, also known as gang stalking. Eventually, and we just flood it. We flood, YouTube, we flood Facebook, we flood X.com, we flood Twitter, we flood, Instagram. Eventually, what's going to happen is some journalists who are either too too ignorant of the dangers of speaking on gang stalking, or journalists who have balls will be like, something's going on here. This is, what is this? And they'll talk about it. But the only, the one way that I know how to get us out is speaking up on it. You know, they say it's useless, and they really try to convince you that it is useless to just speak on it. Nothing's gonna happen if you just talk. Talk is talk, right? Talk is cheap. But I, Gary Webb wrote. He was a journalist who wrote about the CIA bringing in cocaine to fund the war in Nicaragua against communism. They put two in the back of his head. You know what I mean? If what he didn't matter, he'd be here. And this is why, when people say that, we're not risking anything doing this, I'm just like, that's not true. Bon.
Enfant?
Yeah, man.
Tranquille?
Yeah, man. Hold on.
Yeah. Excuse-moi.
Pas de problème, pas de problème. Sorry about that, guys. So this is why, when people say there's no risk to what we're doing, it's just that's simply untrue. There is a risk to what we're doing, but the truth is, they can't. I mean, they can't do all of us, right? And when someone tells me oh, you're not doing anything special, you're get out of the garbage. Sorry, my dog was in a trap. When someone tells me, oh, you're just talking, you're not doing anything special, you're not putting your life on the line, it's like, no, yes I am, and I'm not looking for a medal for it or anything like that, but I absolutely am putting my life on the line. You think you can just outwardly talk about a CIA or FBI psyop and nothing is going to happen to you? These people have been working on these psyops for years. I mean, this is highly sophisticated. They've been working on this stuff for years, and you just speak. I mean, let me not get into it. No, I'm not Indian, but you are blocked. Ortiz, yeah. There are too many weird claims going around about what gang stalking entails. Yeah. I feel like I don't see the weird stuff, because V2K to me was weird 8 months ago. If you were to talk to me about V2K, I would probably tell you to leave me alone. Stop talking to me about V2K. I don't believe in that stuff. I'm being gang stalked when you're muddying the waters here. So I think all opinions are valid when it comes to V2K. It's just a matter of, do I believe you now, or am I going to believe you in 6 months, or pretty much. Typo. What typo, Deb? What's going on? Directed speech is so common for us. They always will use some form of nonverbal communication to let you know you're being watched in your private life. Yeah, I was on AJ's live yesterday, and he couldn't tell. He was like interacting with some of the perps that joined the chat, but they were talking in the chat about something that I was talking about. A friend of mine, uh, all day long, I was talking to her about that, and they just started talking about it. And AJ was like confused about what they're talking about, and I just had to let him know. Well, I mean, I blocked them first, but then I just had to let him know, like, oh no, they're doing directed conversation with me. These people just followed me in your chat. Please pardon typo error. You are pardoned. They worked on me for years before I even realized what was going on. I used to rationalize things as coincidences, then they ramp it up. It becomes obvious. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I've been gang stalked for 20 years now, 19, more like 19 years. And I've only been aware of what gang stalking is for about 2 years. However, within the after 5 years of being gang stalked, I knew what was going on. It's just everyone was telling me that I was crazy. I was crazy. No one believed me, and I have a lot of self doubt. I had a lot of self doubt, so it's like a kindergarten teacher said once, if it's more than three, then it's me. Meaning that if more than three people are telling you that, are telling you something, they're probably right and you're probably wrong. So though I knew I wasn't wrong, I was just like, well, I have to admit that it would be very strange for me to be right and for all of them to be wrong. But today I'm just like, yeah, you're all wrong, all of you, and I don't care. It's so hard. He purposely crashed into my car to cause an accident. I'm so sorry to hear that, Queen Sandy. That sucks. They act like everything is normal now. It's weird. They say it's because I am taking my meds. Again, let me remind you guys, everything they say is a manipulation. No matter what it is. You know, they say it's because you're taking your meds because they know that this gets a reaction from you. It's just about getting you to react. They want you to interact with them so that they can manipulate you into certain behaviors. They don't trust me. They don't care whether or not you take your medication or not. They don't care whether or not you engage in self-helping or self-sabotaging behaviors. That's not what they care about. They care about having push button, you know, uh, um, power over you. So if they can get you to believe that it's because you're taking your meds and you get upset about that, they have a button they can press and to make you react. That's not what it's about. It's not at all what it's about. And when dealing with narcissists, this is something that I say often. When dealing with narcissists, whatever you think the issue is not the actual issue. You know, for example, you may think that the narcissist you're dating, their issue is that you're not romantic enough, and I promise you, if you become more romantic, you'll see that that wasn't an issue. Nothing is going to be solved. The issue is this person has internal turmoil that they're trying to project on you in order to release steam, to vent, you know, to hurt you. That's all it is. These people want to hurt. They're out to hurt. So whatever they can communicate to you, always remember it's a manipulation. It's a lie or it's a manipulation. Um, it's an invisible crime that's not so invisible anymore. Agreed. Pray up and be aware. They do sometimes attack. Yes, they do. They do. I know. I read the comments, saying you guys shouldn't say that. They're not gonna do anything to you. I know. I know. I know for a fact. They can, and some of us have suffered at the hands of gang stalkers. But it's just for the most part, most of what they do is to instill fear, and they're not gonna actually do anything to you. But there is a possibility that they might. So you should definitely be careful. And if you live in a state where you can own a firearm, you should definitely get that taken care of yesterday. 24/7 manipulation and traps to trigger reactions. Exactly. That's all it is. It's all it is. They're just trying to trigger you, get reactions out of you. It's death by a thousand paper cuts. If you react to everything that they do, if they're able to get you to react to everything that they say or everything that they do, eventually it's you'll have the straw that breaks the camel's back moment. Like, for example, Miss Ortiz, who had been dealing with whatever she was dealing with, and then eventually she was just like, that's enough. So if you want to keep your head wrapped tight and you don't want to basically go mad, I would definitely say don't react to it. Don't react to it. Don't engage with it. All of it is just a manipulation. I was thinking today, actually. I was thinking today. I was just like, wow, it's really insane how all of these people have been convinced to be quiet, to participate in it, and remain quiet about it. No one is talking to me about it. No one. I mean, I have proof of them talking to each other. Not specifically of saying gang stalking or any terms like that. I have proof of some of my friends saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go make a complaint to this guy about him and dirty his name at this place over there." I actually have proof of that. And it's a person that I was at her house the day before, which was it was really like mind blowing. That moment was mind blowing for me, and that was the moment where I realized, you know, gang stalking is for real, and it's like it's my friends now. It's not just like strangers on the internet, anyways. But now I'm realizing like I give people too much grace. I give people too much. I project goodness onto them because the truth is, if you're able to participate in that kind of stuff, there's something within you already that allows you to participate in that kind of stuff because ignorance is not enough. Ignorance is not enough for you to participate in that kind of stuff. There is something in you already that allows you to sleep at night knowing that you are, you know, involved in a plan to dismantle and erode at the psyche and the life of someone you call a friend, someone you call a family, someone someone or just another human being. If you're able to sleep at night knowing you're doing that, something was already in you. May God have mercy on your soul. I would say prayer is the only way out of all the good and bad thoughts. It helps with the V2K to call on God to get out of yourself. Amen. Praying, fasting, and reading the Psalms helps me. Me too. Me too. I mean, not fasting. I'm big boy status right here, right now. But praying, reading the Psalms, for sure. Psalms. Um, hey, you got it, Mindy. You got it. Many people has put the label but they label them as schizophrenic. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are certain labels that you're just gonna have to be okay with it when you're being gang stalked. When people call you a criminal, a chomo, a thief, an addict. You just have to remember who you are. It's like, you know, you calling me something doesn't make me it. And as a matter of fact, usually you're projecting. I honestly thought trying to ignore the gang stalking is the best tactic for survival with peace. Thoughts? Yes, ignoring it is the best one. Ignoring it um, is the best tactic. Sorry. You don't see the weird stuff? Open your eyes. No opinions are valid. All right, Dogman Castro, that's strike one. I'm being so nice today. I'm giving strikes to people instead of just blocking them. How nice am I? Dogman Castro, you said something weird. No opinions are valid. What are you talking about? next weird comment you make, I'm blocking you, buddy. Um, my name is Daniel Bailey from Springfield, Ohio, and tomorrow they're about to put me in jail, and I'm alive. Me, I'm pretty sure by making it look like an unalive. Some kind of OD my ex-wife has. Yeah, don't say names. Don't say names. Insurance policy on me. I've been stalked 15 years. Dang. Well, it's strange. You say my name is Danielle Bailey, but your username is Dwayne Seether. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that you're um, about to be put in jail. Do you have a warrant for your arrest? Because if you don't, let me know if you do. Let me know if you do. Dang. I've heard voices in the past. The abuse gave me so much stress that it triggered voices. The voices were related to the abuse, and for a time I believed in V2K. I researched it and I prefer a scientific approach. I've read that abuse can actually trigger voices if you're vulnerable for that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I've noticed that victims of harassment turn to God more strongly and they show it. It's hard to say, but is that ultimately a good thing? I think it is. I think it is a good thing. I do. Especially if you are in substance abuse. Unalive me, sorry. I used the microphone. Oh, yeah, I figured it's okay. This is very Pavlovian in nature. They're trying to train us to react a certain way to certain things. 100%. It's Pavlovian in the sense that it's dog whistling, right? It's dog whistling. Um, directed conversation is dog whistling. Basically, it's creating a it's creating a man an association that no one else can see. For example, you go home and with your family you're cooking shepherd's pie, and then at work the next day people are starting to talk about shepherd's pie. You go home that night and with your family you cook pizza for dinner, and everyone's talking to you about pizza at work the next day, and then the routine. So it's just like you can tell that this is tailored to upset you, and other people don't understand why it's upsetting you for many different reasons. First one being that they think it's just a coincidence and that no one is, you know, no one is important enough. One, no one is important enough to have that done to them. Two, no one is a big enough loser to participate in that kind of stuff. So everyone is like, you're. It's not happen. That's not what's happening. It's just coincidences. And then the other thing that they don't understand is like, yeah, but who cares? Even if it was true, who cares? And it's because they either don't have the empathy to understand why you're upset, which is, I'd like to have my civil rights. Privacy is a civil right. I'd like to have it back, please. Um, or, man, I'm losing my train of thought. Uh, either they don't have empathy, or they just don't understand. Well, yeah, they don't have empathy. They don't understand, what it means, what it means that people are talking about what you do at home. They just don't get it. They don't understand. So it is Pavlovian. If you see God and read Psalm 91, Psalm 91 is my favorite. They can't touch you physically. God will protect you, in my opinion. Amen. Psalm 91 is my favorite. Definitely read it. Apparently, inspectors are coming to where I live tomorrow after commenting on the channel and posts. On my channel? My channel? Brendan, on what channel and posts? Everything chasing you, not human. Strike one, Sandra. What are you talking about? Or checking in. Have you posted the gang stalk with AJ interview yet? Hey, H Down, how's it going, man? I'm gonna start posting the interview with AJ next week. So this week until Friday, I'm posting every single day a part of the interview. The final part will be on Friday, and then on the weekend I'm gonna drop some shorts, just like random shorts from like different lives. Maybe this one, who knows? And from starting on Monday, I'm gonna start releasing the interview with AJ, and then the next week I'm gonna do the interview with Amelia, the first one I ever did, and then I'm gonna do the interview with Nicole. This is spiritual warfare. It sure is. They already tried 3 times last year, and dang. Just wanted to say thank you. April's Way, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. I don't know, my gang stalking took a turn. My 84-year-old dad is being stalked as well now. Just come on, this is so low to do that. Got a lot more to worry about now. Yeah, a lot of people, Nicole included, a lot of people that are dealing with gang stalking are telling me that they're going after their kids. Their kids are being bullied. They're getting, children to participate in that. The schools are participating in it. Like failing your kid, out of spite to upset you, things like that, or like putting your kid into like special education programs, stuff like that. Man, this is an evil world. It's it's really it's really mind warping to realize what an evil world we live in when you thought everyone is like me and everyone wants the best for everybody else. And when you're that naive and you come to realize hell is on earth, it's a very steep drop from, you know, the idea that, if everyone just got what they needed, everyone would be nice to each other. I thought that way. I truly did. I truly thought that way. If everyone received the love that they needed as children, and if everyone received the support that they need as adults, the world would be a perfect place. And you know and then all of a sudden you realize hell is on earth. you know there is no hell under us. This is hell. Satan rules this place. I wish there was like a soundtrack in the back to like accentuate what I'm saying right now, like the heavenly, and then like a electric guitar to say hell is on earth. Repent now. Sorry guys. I I make jokes because I'm genuinely disappointed. This is us. This is who we are. This is us. I feel a lot of the gang stalking operation is based around shame, trying to shame you. Because when you're ashamed and angry and scared, it's easy to control you and to manipulate you. For example, if you feel shame around, taking your meds or not taking your meds, substance abuse, things of that nature, and they're able to poke at you to get you to react, it's going to be more efficient. So a lot of these torture tactics are based around shame. The only shame I feel is that we are the same species. Me and gang stalkers were the same. That is the only shame I feel. I feel no shame about anything I've ever done bad. None. Zero. Now, not to say that, the things I've done wrong in my life aren't wrong, and I feel nothing and I feel pride or anything like that. It's just like I look at it like, yeah, I'm human. I did something wrong. I felt the shame that I needed to feel, and I changed my behavior because I'm human and I'm a good person. You are participating in torturing your fellow man, and you're proud of it. You're doing it in group and in secret, and you're like, we're gonna get it. I said this thing. Look at his face. We're the same species, me and you. I hate that for myself. That is the only shame I feel. I feel ashamed that some of my gang stalkers share my DNA. I feel ashamed that some of them are like 25% of their DNA is my DNA as well. I feel horrendous shame about that. Some of them are like fully like I have a sibling who's in. Anyways, I'm going off right now, and I shouldn't. I'm having a good day. What sucks? There's no one to believe you to support you through this trauma. You feel so alone when they trigger you. They love it. I caught one smiling and smirking at my car crash because I was mad. You got me, baby. You got me, and everybody else in the chat. We believe you. We support you. You're not alone. Far from it. Far from it. Oh, they are evil, yes. So I'm 46, absolutely. Hey, Arcanum, how's it going? Their conscience is seared. They're literally young with toying with us. Cat and mouse games. Yeah, that's basically what it is. You know, these are what I like to call they're narcissists, right? And narcissists are human predators. That's all it is. Human predators. They prey on humans. If money is involved, forget about it. They're probably getting coins. Yes, 100%. They are. You know, I unfriended one of my ex friends who was in on it, that I was just giving the benefit of the doubt because I was unsure. But then I was taking a shower and I was just thinking to myself, like, I know who she is. She's the kind of person who would definitely throw me under the bus if money was involved. And as soon as I got out of the shower, I was like, that's all the hey. That's all the confirmation I need in order to block that person. So, is anyone having trouble with the feed? Mine keeps freezing. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Ivana Ortiz. Yeah. I can't find her YouTube channel. I think she had a TikTok. If you guys could link me, or well, not link me because the link won't show. It won't show up in the chat if you post the link. But it's Ivana Lizette Ortiz is her name. But I'd like to see her videos. It's the same guy that just said hi to you a second ago. Could you let it go? Sorry. They can touch you physically. The more you pray up, the harder it is for them. You have the right to defend yourself. Oh yeah, you definitely have a right to defend yourself. I had a therapist say no one is that worried about you. I had a psychiatrist say that to me because I did go to a mental institute to ask questions. I would go weekly to ask questions, and then at one point they let me talk to a psychiatrist, and he said that to me. He said, no one's doing that. No one's, no one is that worried about you. You're not that important. And I was mad at first, but then all I could think to myself was I agree with him. I'm not that important, but it is happening. So I'm not gonna find answers here. And then I stopped going to him. Mine to memorize Psalm 91. Yes, it's a really good one. I don't have it memorized though, but it's a really good one. The story of David is a really good one. Mentally, I don't feel okay. I don't sleep well. I'm spiritually attacked at times, but if it's not Jehovah God, I don't know what I would do. 100%. Years ago, I thought the same. Most of the people are good, yada yada. Nope. Yeah, it's wow. It's a harsh wake up call to realize the demons are here. You read about demons and you think that they have like horns, red skin and tails, and you come to realize, no, they're among us. They're here. They're doing demonic deeds every day for gift cards. Glory to God, though He leads us through the valley of the shadow, through the valley of death. Ugh. No demons in hell. They are all up here. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Not having any support makes you feel so alone. My ministry helps at times, but I feel like even them gossip and talk about me because of the perks. Yeah, you can be certain that some of your gang stalkers are in a church. It's never all of them. It's never everyone. It is never everyone, but it's everywhere for sure. I thought that too. What a wake up call living in a horror show. Yeah. A shame that sociopaths, narcissists, and psychopaths exist. They are the devils on this earth. Yeah. You read enough, you read the Bible enough and you learn about demons enough, and then you learn about narcissistic personality disorder, and you come to realize these are the vampires that are being talked about. These are the demons that are being talked about. These are the devils that are being talked about in the book. It's people. I'm just a normal, empathic guy, good guy, raised in a Mormon church. My dad was a bishop. Look at us now, being stalked. Yeah, it's nuts. It is nuts. I truly pity them. Not only they degrade themselves every day, plus after their lives, they would have wished to never do anything. It's sad. Yeah, I feel bad for them. I do. I do pity them. To be empty enough to allow a demon to enter you and guide your behavior in that way. Yeah, it's very sad. I don't know if these stalkers are all human at all. They are, unfortunately. And we need to get over our shame and past mistakes, for the Bible tells God cast our sin as far as the east is from the west. Jehovah gives us a new slate, and his mercy renews every day. I love that. I love that. And this brings me to what I wanted to talk about. I'm going to, I'm just going to take a short break on the. Comment. Hold on. Somebody said something. I saw the word France. In France, we don't have such freedom of speech. Few people dare to speak freely about this subject, even though it's what I consider most precious. I'm actually having a conversation with a French person. I think he's Algerian. I recognize an Algerian man when he speaks French. There's a very distinct accent. But he deals with helicopters flying over his head, like his home. Like the helicopters will pull up, circle, leave, right? Just above his home. And he has like 20 videos, 25 videos on his Instagram of that happening, which I can only imagine how many times it's actually happened to him for him to have 25 videos of it, you know? But it is true in France you're guilty until proven innocent, you know? You just look at what's happening to like people are going to be like, "Who? What?" You just look at what happened to Dieudonné. Dieudonné was he is stand-up comedian, and he was speaking freely about a subject that was very near and dear to him that I'm not going to talk about for very obvious reasons. And his career just, and I mean, this guy is hilarious, by the way. I'm a huge fan of him. But you can't speak freely in France. They can deem your speech to be hate speech like that. And a lot of people in the US are fail to realize that that's coming. That's coming to you, you know. They're not just coming for your second amendment. They're coming for your first. And in Canada you don't really have a first amendment, but it's definitely, I mean, you don't have a first amendment at all. We don't have free speech, though people believe that we have free speech. We don't have free speech in Canada, but it's definitely not as bad as France. I'm just going to take a break for a second to talk about what I wanted to talk about, which was projection. I heard someone say, you are not what they say you are. They are what they say you are. Let me repeat that. You are not what they say you are. They are what they say you are. I really like that. The people who are judging you based solely on your worst moments, based solely on your sins, or lies even about you. And I think and I think when it comes to lies, it's a broad spectrum because if I tell you about someone else's misdeeds and sins, but I don't tell you that this person is being tortured at the time that they committed these sins. I don't tell you, oh, I tell you, oh, this person is, an addict or whatever, But I don't tell you, by the way, me and my friends, we torture this person on a daily basis. It is a lie of omission. I'm omitting important information that would help you build a more educated opinion on the situation. So it is a lie. I'm on purpose omitting the information in order to guide you towards the opinion I want you to have. That's a lie. And it's the worst kind of lie. A lie of omission is the worst kind of lie because I'm telling you parts of the truth in order to manipulate you while withholding parts of the truth that would help you see the full picture. But I really like that, when people go after you and call you a monster and go after your character, you have to understand that only a monster would do that. Only a bad person would participate in that kind of activity, torturing someone and then telling other people that, they're a bad person. Come on. And the other thing I heard, it was a black man. I heard him say that on TikTok. He said, "Can you imagine?" And this brings me to the subject to the point that is the point which is it's really important to ignore the whole gang stalking tactics. It's the best way to go about it. But it brings me to that point, which is, can you imagine? Can you imagine for a second how devastated your gang stalkers were to find out that their ace in the hole, their one, their atomic bomb, their biggest weapon against you, which was to turn your family against you. Can you imagine their disappointment when they used that card on you? They dropped that bomb on you, only for you to go, fuck them too. Isn't that great? I love that. I was I wanted to drop my phone and clap my hands when I heard that man say that. I was just like, yeah, it must have been pretty devastating for them to put all these efforts into rallying any of my family members against me, for me to just go, yeah, fuck them. You know, I'm gonna be sad for 30 seconds and go on about my day, and and not only that, but I'm grateful. I had demons in my family, and I didn't know. You revealed them for me. Thank you. Much appreciated. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Um, I've been alone for years. Rising, you are not alone. You are not alone. Remember the past no more. Absolutely. You know, the devil knows your name and he calls you by your sin. God knows your sin, he calls you by your name, right? These people want to judge you for any, you know, bad actions or, bad words or bad things you may have said or done in your life, as if this sums you up. This is who you are, right? In my heart, I know that, you know, Peter had a bad day. Judas had a bad heart. I'm not Judas. I'm Peter. As a matter of fact, Peter is my last name in French. But to judge me based on my behavior while I was being tortured, unbeknownst to me, right? Is I, I could care less. I could care less about what opinion you have of me based on information gathered on people who were spying on me and also torturing me in secret. What do I care what you think of me? Your opinion is infinitely worthless. Their insecurity is dangerous, and you are the sacrifice to feed their ego only. 100%. 100%. These are vampires. They're vampires. They have to be making some type of good money. The money is actually not that good. It's not that good. Most people who participate in it for money are people who are in like really bad situations, or drug addicts, or jobless, immigrants, illegal immigrants, things of that nature. Sorry about that. Um, but the people who participate in this often they participating in it because one, ego boost. They're sadistic people. They want to hurt someone. They're looking for a sacrificial lamb. Two, they're looking to belong to a group, and the people who have recruited them to join have played on that. Three, revenge, retaliation. You offended someone in some way. Perhaps you're fully innocent, but they just took offense. So it is what it is. But yeah, the people who participate in it, you know, it's usually not just for money. Though money is involved. Let's make no mistakes. Money is involved. Um, but your friends and family who have turned on you, they haven't. Usually they haven't turned on you for money. I mean, I know one of my friends who turned on me for money, but I've always known this was a person who lacked morals. I've always known this person was a narcissist. Um, but yeah, for the other people who turned on me, usually it's for retaliation. I said something that was reported back to them. Like I don't know, like let's say I have a cousin who's overweight, or I have a cousin who's Italian, which I do. I have a cousin who's Italian, and I make a joke about Italian people, and it's relayed back to him, and he doesn't like that, And now he's been convinced to turn against me. I'm just like giving examples here, but sometimes it's as simple as that. It's it's within your friends and family. Usually, it's retaliation because they are viewing you through the lens of your sins, of bad things you've done, bad things you've said, and they're judging you to be only that because they're unable to look at themselves and see that if people had a lens into my life and were able to see my sins from now until the past 20 years, or from the past 20 years up until now, you know they would probably they would probably treat me like crap. And what I would really want and appreciate in that moment would be grace and mercy. And, they can understand that concept for themselves. Or perhaps they think I haven't done anything wrong. It's like, yeah, all right. You're torturing your own family member, but you haven't done anything wrong. Eat. Coma mierda. Um, but the hmm, basically basically the point I'm making is that these people either don't think they've done anything wrong, or they don't have the empathy to understand that the same grace and mercy that they would want in that situation, other people also deserve it. They don't understand that. They don't get that. And it's not our problem, is it? Hi, I'm Christina. Hi, Christina. I'm Kevin. The gang stalkers do make a lot of money. I heard that like in Florida, it's like $15 an hour to follow people. Um, but I have heard somebody else say like I get $1,000 gift card. So maybe I'm like super wrong, you know. Maybe it depends on which organization is contacting you. as well, like which organization is paying you, because you got to figure that if an organization is contracting for the FBI, they're probably taking a lot of the actual money that is being given, that's supposed to go to you if you had dealt with the company, what the FBI directly. So somebody's making a lot of money, you know. Somebody's making a lot of money for sure. It's not about importance; it's about money in the new economy. Yeah. I stopped trying to get support. I'm my only advocate. I feel a sense of unity on these channels. 100% lead follower. I'm glad you're here. Angel of Light, that's them. Green, scaly skin, wearing human flesh, shape shifting. I trust no one except fellow TI is now sad. I don't trust anybody. I trust God and myself. And I trust myself to see into the souls of other people. But I don't trust men. I don't trust people. I trust in God and I trust in my God given ability of discernment. Does that make sense? Hey, Justice for Chosen. How's it going, man? Glad you're here. Do you know? I think in Psalm 50, I'm not quite exact, but it's a song and it says that these people, demonic people or evil people, was born like that from birth. So they were evil from the beginning. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Maybe. I will say that narcissists or narcissism is the scientific word for evil, and narcissists are not born. Well, that's not true. That's not true, actually. Narcissists are born, but what have, yeah, actually, I agree with what you're saying now. I agree with what you're saying. And I always have. I'm realizing that I agree. I think all people are born narcissistic, but some people grow out of it and some people don't. And the people who don't grow out of it, they don't grow out of it because of child trauma, which gives them arrested emotional development. So then you'll have grown people who operate like adults, who look like adults, but emotionally they're children. And you will only be able to notice how narcissistic and evil these people are when they're upset. So terrifying knowing that they can just barge into your life and take you over. Let's not go into the reptile blah. I'm not going into it. They do everything in their power to destroy your life. Most people can't be trusted, Mindy. No, they can't actually. Most people can't be trusted. I don't know if you meant can't, but you wrote can, and I'm letting you know. Sty XL, most people cannot be trusted. Sirens follow me everywhere through my city where I live. This shit is pathetic. It is pathetic. It is pathetic. I follow a lot of TikTok pages where they get harassed by EMS and police and fire trucks. It's pathetic. Demons, you are in Canada too. I am in Canada. I'm in Quebec, Montreal. Freedom of speech and religion. It's true. Straight projection. I can't read Hebrew. Sorry. Throwing the stones and hiding their hands like real men would do. Right? We have to be perfect. Onde spirituelle. Qu'est-ce que tu veux dire? On doit être parfait. What do you mean? We have to be perfect. What does that mean? What do you mean by that? Qu'est-ce que tu veux dire par là? Weirdos. Devastating at first, but yes, I eventually got there too. Just don't care. Energy Vampire is my best friend from high school. Turned on me, broke my heart. I was shocked. I think that the next step is going to be high school friends. Getting high school friends to turn on me. I don't know. I can't say that I care. I really view people turn on me as a blessing, because I'm happy that you turn on me now rather than later. I'm glad I didn't waste energy into being your friend when you obviously never deserved my energy, because that's who you are. fuck you. You know, I'm a great friend. I don't want to waste my friendship energy on you, a person who would participate in stuff like that. What a blessing it is to be gang stalked sometimes, right? That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it today. Talk to me tomorrow, maybe I'll see it a different way. But today I feel like what a blessing it is to be gang stalked. They hate themselves. Misery loves company. They get paid with other things as well. Yeah, gift cards and things of that nature. It is true that these people are miserable. I think I think a lot of people fail to understand the mentality behind a person who authorizes themselves to stalk someone. This is a dangerous person. This is a person who thinks that they own people, that they can own people. Diabolical, evil people, dangerous. Witchcraft favors. My sister, that was my best friend, so I thought for 54 years, turned her back, sided with the enemy. Now she will be in hell with the rest of them. I could never trust her again. Well, you and I are in the same situation. I also have a sibling who has turned on me completely. But I've always known that this sibling was an evil person. I've always known it. And I've said it. I've said it plenty of times before to people. I've always said this is the most selfish person I know. You know, and like I have to be honest, I wasn't shocked. And even before she turned on me, I wasn't talking to her because of something that happened back in 2020 during my breakup. After my breakup of a relationship of 13 years, um, I saw my sibling post something online. This is a good story, actually. I'm going to tell you. I saw my sibling post something online that said it was so opposite. It was so opposite of her. I'm sorry, I said her. It was so opposite of my sibling's attitude or personality. It was very opposite of my sibling's personality, what they posted, which was if I am friends with your abuser, tell me, I will unfriend them. And I wrote that and I was like, that's a very empathetic post. You are not an empathetic person. So I said to myself, I'm going to test it out. I'm going to call this person's bluff. I'm talking about my sibling here. I'm going to call this person's bluff. And I sent that person a message saying, the, unfriend my ex. Unfriend my ex on Facebook. And what the response I got back was, and I'm not lying to you. I can actually pull it up. I'm not lying to you. The response I got back was, "You're exaggerating. Aren't you over that already?" And it hadn't been like 6 months. We had broken up, right? It's like, "Aren't you over that already? You need to see someone about this. Like you're like overdoing it here." And the whole time, this person is writing to me, answering me back. I'm just laughing because I'm like, I knew it. You put up this post saying, if I'm friends with your abuser, tell me, I'll unfriend them. And all I could think was, that's not you. That's not who you are. I know you. I know who you are. Don't get me wrong. This is my sibling, full of qualities, full of qualities. Empathy is not one of them. Empathetic is not one of the qualities that this person possesses. So when I saw this post, I was like, "This is what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Crap. Like when someone pretends to have a value, like pretends to have like a certain moral that they don't possess, but they like, post it publicly. Uh, Virtue signaling. It was virtue signaling. My dog is snoring in the background, and she's snoring like at my feet right now. It was virtue signaling, right? And when I saw it, I just said, let me message this sibling of mine and call their bluff. And it worked perfectly. It worked exactly how it did. But I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't take offense to it. I did take offense, and you know, I stopped responding to their messages. Every year this sibling of mine would write happy birthday messages to me, and I wouldn't respond. I would never tell them happy. I was just like, for you to respond that way to me, when I tell you to unfriend, I think never in the history should you ever tell your sibling to unfriend your ex, and then instead of immediately taking your side, they go, get over it. You need to see someone, seek some help, right? Like that's not normal. That is not normal behavior. And when my sibling did that to me, I just decided I don't want to talk to that person anymore, and I stopped. And then after maybe, I don't know if it was a week or a month, they wrote to me like apologizing, and it was a fake apology, obviously. But I just told them, I don't care. I don't care about your apology. I don't care if you are sorry. It doesn't matter to me. You know, in that moment that you said what you said to me, you stopped being my sibling, and really you never have. You never have. You know. So, anyways, that was my interesting story. I thought it was so funny. It felt like it almost felt like a victory, like winning at what cost, right? But when I saw the post, I was just like, that's not you. You don't think like that. You don't operate like that. You would never do that. You would never take the side of an abuse victim. You would never do that. And immediately I called her bluff. And it's just like, I'm your sibling. We share parents. You just posted, if I'm friends with your abuser on Facebook, tell me, I'll unfriend them. Here is your brother telling you, hey, unfriend my ex. And I took a picture of her post, and I, sent it to them, and I was just like, unfriend my ex. And immediately gaslighting. I was just like, yeah, that tracks. That's you. That's who you are. This virtue signaling post, that is not who you are. You telling your brother, your own brother, get over it. That's you. Am I on mute? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Huh? Oh, you can hear me. Yeah, yeah. That's what they said. They said get over it, and you need to see someone like a specialist. You know. Anyways, we will never be disappointed by our Father. Amen. Amen. In Australia, some get Bitcoin. I don't doubt it. You're one of my favorite channels. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I try. I tried. I really tried to like put out spirit raising content and informative content. And sometimes I trauma dump and vent all over you guys, and I'm very sorry about that. But we always end on a positive note, don't we? Gang stalking has brought me closer to God. Grateful for that. Me too. Me too. I really am. I had a hard time trusting people before this started. I'm not sure I'll be able to trust ever again. I don't trust anyone. I trust God and myself. Satanic Freemasonic cult groups has brought me close to Jesus Christ, Kings of Kings, Lord of Lords, Judge of Judges. Isn't it a blessing to find out that evil exists and it has chosen you as a target? Think about that. Really think about it. To come to find out that evil actually does exist. It is not in hell. It is not in a different world. It's it's here. It's among us. And evil has chosen you as a target, as who they want to fight. What an honor, right? I feel honored. I don't know about you. I I entirely feel honored to know that evil people, the evil spirits within people, have guided them to target me. They must see something in me. It's not evil. And this self doubt that I used to deal with, it used to make me doubt the goodness in my heart. It used to make me see myself only for my sins. Because I thought to myself, if everyone, and it's not everyone, but it feels like it sometimes, but I thought to myself, if everyone is against me, then I must be a bad person. You know? But I quickly grew to realize that good people wouldn't do this. Good people wouldn't do this in secrecy, and they wouldn't do this at all. They are evil. I don't just think they're evil because they're going after me. They are evil. They operate like evil people. And we are their targets. I wear it like a badge of honor. It is my dog snoring. It took a while, but they eventually turned all four of my children against me. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. We should organize a conference in Montreal and invite several people from around the world. I have to be honest with you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of groups. I, I wouldn't say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wouldn't say I don't want to be a part of groups. It's just I don't trust people. Let's put it this way. I don't trust people. I fear that any efforts or groups would get infiltrated. Um, yeah, not a bad idea though. Not a bad idea. I think we can affect change without necessarily meeting in person. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Laisse-moi savoir ce que tu penses. Pretenders, a bunch of clowns. I can imagine it would hurt more if that's your family. Very sad. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. It did hurt when they said that to me. I was like, this is my sibling saying that to me. But how could I be shocked? How could I be shocked? I I did this to call their bluffs. The whole goal was to call their bluffs. I wasn't doing it because I wanted them to unfriend my ex. I don't care that you're still friends with my ex on Facebook. I could care less. Didn't bother me. I just did it because I read it and I was just like, that's not you. Who are you fooling here? I mean, a lot of people. But I was just like, I'm not fooled. I know you. You are one of the most selfish person I've ever met in my life. I know you. You don't care about other people's feelings. You never have. What are you talking about? And then I just proved it to myself, and I thought it was kind of funny. After I got over being sad, I thought it was funny. But then I was just like, don't talk to me, man. Don't talk to me. And then, the apology that they offered, I just felt was whatever. I did apologize to that person for not speaking to them for so long after that event. That sibling of mine, I did apologize. And when I apologized to them, that's when I realized that she's in on it. She's turned on me too. Well, it was on that day, not in that moment, but it was on that day that I realized that person turned on me as well. But I have to say that as far as family members go, if there's one person that I don't care that has turned on me, it's definitely that sibling of mine. I could care less. I, in the words of Future, I never liked you. I don't know who this person is. If I don't call, I do not hear from her. I've given up on her and her betrayal, as they put. They can duck off. Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine the kind of pain you're dealing with. Um, that's truly a horrible situation to go through. But I definitely think that it's the best attitude to have is just be like, hey, have it. Yeah, she said, get over it. I can hear you. Good. Good. It's messed up. It is messed up. I've heard them snoring on laugh tracks before. Yeah, they snore loudly. These bulldogs, they snore. No volume on my end. Is it only my end or can everyone else hear? Everyone can hear except you. I'm sorry, Just. Just, how's it going? I didn't realize you were here. Well, you can't hear me. Everybody say hi to Just for me. Sorry. I agree. I enjoy listening to you. I didn't know so many people are out there going through it. Crazy. Yeah. Very shortly after I found out how many of us were out there, I did my first video on TikTok. I remember it was about forgiveness. Not something I want to talk about today. Gaslighting 101. That's right. Trust God only. My computer is majorly hacked. No volume on his live when it was working perfect a minute ago. Dang. Hi, love. Hey, Umberto. How's it going? I never look at it like that. It is an honor to fight evil. You're right. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's an honor to be chosen. I mean, of course, people often refer to like targeted individuals as being the chosen ones, chosen by God. And I do feel that way. I do feel like, I mean, I never referred to myself as a chosen by God, but really, the truth of the situation is we are chosen by evil. We are targeted by evil. We are therefore chosen by evil. But we are not chosen by evil to join them. Nah, baby. That's you. That's you, gang stalkers and you perps. You've been chosen by evil to join them. I'm chosen by evil to fight. What does that make me? What an honor. You know? What an honor. I really feel that way. I really feel that way. Whenever I'm feeling down or whatever, I'm just like, well, at least they didn't reach out to me to recruit me. You know? That that has to be because think of all the people that are recruited against one person. Think of every single person that is recruited against one person. You could have been recruited. Maybe you would have known about it. Maybe it would be unbeknownst to you. You would be participating in the torture of someone. You could have been recruited. They could have seen evil in you and thought we can use that. Or, they could have seen so much evil in you that they would have thought this person can actually join us and know everything, participate in it. Instead, they saw you and it, it, your good spirits irritated the evil spirits within them so much that they said, this person has to go. That is a badge of honor. It means your heart is true, 100%. And I know for a fact, if I'm not a perfect person, I'm full of flaws, but I know my heart is true. I know I have only good intentions for people. I would never, I never engage with people in with the intention of screwing them over, of being dishonest, of taking advantage of them. That's not me. Always turn to God. I reset the page and still no volume. Do you have volume on other pages? Can someone ask just if they have volume on other pages, like other websites? Maybe it's your computer. He's turning off his computer. There we go. Brendan, you hear me from Chicago? Chicago suburbs. Nice. My dog is hilarious. My dog is hilarious. You are saving people's lives, especially all of us profiled and targeted by demonic devils. I'm doing what I feel God is calling me to do. I can recall being in this situation and not knowing about gang stalking and how upset, devastated, stressed, worried, anxious I was, where it took me, where it could have gone had I not been more courageous and patient and trusting in a higher power. And I just want to be able to I don't want to use these terms, these biblical terms, but I want to be, you know, a beacon of light, you know? Like there's hope. There's methods. There there's guidelines that will help you in this. So, thank you. Thank you. It would be prime mass target. Isn't there a rally every year somewhere? Yes, targetedjustice.com. On spirituel. Oh, that's good actually. It's good that you speak of this. Thank you. I'm sure this would help some people understand what's wrong with their life. We don't leave their light hidden. On spirituel, speaking of, lead follower is saying targetedjustice.com organizes every year a rally in Washington, D.C. of targeted individuals in order to get this issue in front of Congress to get attention. Now, I think that this is our best bet. Targeted justice is our best bet because targeted justice gets boots on the ground. You know, a lot of people have judgments of targeted justice. I hate the division within targeted individuals. When I hear someone talk about another targeted individual, for example, saying, "Oh, this person has a GoFundMe, but they're not using the GoFundMe for what they're saying they were gonna use it for, or whatever." And it's like, I get it, like you feel like you're being scammed, or like this person is scamming people or using your struggle to scam them. But it doesn't mean that this person is not a targeted individual. Maybe you know this person has bills that they need to pay, that or other things, or maybe this person is lying about what they're using the money for, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not being targeted. And I just think that the focus has to remain on the people doing the targeting, not the targeted individuals. I think we should never look at it at another targeted individual to see, is this person lying? Is this person telling the truth? Is this person this? Is this person that? Is this person, it's like that doesn't matter, you know? I think if anything, we should look at, is this person, you know, misrepresenting us or hurting our cause, you know? And I can understand that you would feel that a person who's lying about how they're using funds that are being given to them um under the I guess umbrella of being a targeted individual, you feel like that's not helping our cause. But I'm just saying, all our energy should be put towards exposing the targeted individual program rather than going after each other. When the CIA and the FBI run psyops to divide and conquer, and we start infighting instead of fighting upwards, they love that. They love that. They're just like, look, look at how successful don't look at each other. Sorry, my dog is chewing on a bone, making horrendous, Walking Dead zombie noises in the back. I'm like, are you okay? Um, relatives, relatives' words sounded pretty not substantial. Yeah, yeah. Um, and it's okay. It's okay. I love all my siblings, all of them. I love all of them, even the ones that I will never speak to again. You know, I love my father. I love my mother, even though I will never speak to my mother ever. I love her. I love all these people. You know, they're people. It's all right. Thank you for saving lives. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. These noises are really upsetting. Sorry. Under the bushel. The bushel? Sorry. Under the bus, you mean? I'm sure this would help. Pardon. I'm sorry. I didn't get that. I didn't quite get that. As I always say, trash moves itself. Anybody that's not for me is against me. Therefore, adios. No apology. 100%. We are chosen to both. Justice for chosen. Yes, we are chosen to both. Mike Tyson said that. He said, when God favors you, you got to be careful because that means the devil also favors you. Mike Tyson, not usually exactly where I go to hear wise words, but I thought that was a very wise sentence. I don't think he meant what I mean when I say it, but then again, I'm just assuming things. I just thought the sentence was very true. When God favors you, the devil also favors you. So you got to be careful, and you just have to look at Job. Look at Job. When God favors you, the devil favors you as well. To whom much is given, much is tested. Question: I find myself becoming antisocial as a way to protect myself. Is this normal? How do you not only move forward but have faith in people again? Never have faith in people. You shouldn't have faith in people. I think the Bible says like hundreds of times, trust not in men. isolation is not a bad thing. Isolation can teach you a lot of good lessons. It was in isolation that I learned self-love. It was in isolation that I learned self-respect. It was in isolation that I learned I need to raise the bar for what I allow people, how I allow people to treat me. I need to raise the bar for what energy I allow in my life. It was only through isolation that I became okay with being alone. And through becoming okay with being alone, it raised my it raised my standards for who gets to be in my life, because being alone became not so bad. Being alone became much better than being around abusive people. I'll tell you that much. Hey, now I don't have anyone in my circle that, you know, I don't appreciate. Now, granted, I don't have many people in my circle either, but I don't have anyone in my circle that that isn't a quality person. I hope that answers your question. As a cool perspective, it could also be the case that the gang stalkers are used by God to show us and teach us. Some of us might really be chosen by God, who knows the ways of the Father. Hey, you could be right. You could be right. I don't pretend to understand God's plan, you know? I just obey God to the best of my ability, to the best of my capacities, to the best of my willpower. I'm just looking at a comment on Creddy's interview, the part one. Somebody wrote, "This is all fiction." I get a lot of comments like that. You guys might not see them because I always delete them, which is what I'm doing right now. But I get a lot of people like just trying to say things to upset me, and it's just like, I don't believe in ghosts. You think I'm going on videos of ghost hunters to tell them like, you guys are lying? If you're on a gang stalking video to write, you guys are delusional, you guys are schizophrenic, it's like, how obvious can you make yourself as a perv? You know? And if you're not a perp, I feel really sorry for you, because you're going out of your way. Anyways, you're a perp. Let's just put it that way. You're a perp. Have faith in yourself. It's an honor indeed to fight for what's right. You have to try. It is an honor. It is an honor. It is. It is. You have to try to do the opposite of what is expected. Isolation is one of the main things that is wanted because it is so bad. I know that it is not easy. It is so much easier to isolate, but you have to figure out your safe places and people. Read books, prayer, quiet places. Try reading Savali and Kurt Barker books. Yeah. I'm trying to find other tips at the moment. I'm ready to connect. Well, how to make friends as adults. That's like, I don't know. I think people in the chat might have better information on the subject than me. Granted, I have a lot of friends, but I couldn't tell you how to make friends. Sorry. I talk to people. I talk to strangers. I used to be an introvert before, and then I started working as a dog trainer, and I would like meet, you know, 300 people every 6 months, and I got really comfortable with talking to people. I'll walk in the mall. I was in a mall 3 days ago with my wife, and she was like, "I think this lady is a Senegalese like me," and I was like, "No, she's not." And she was like, "Yeah, I think she is." And then I was like, "I'm gonna go ask her." And my wife was like, "No, don't do that, right?" Because she knows. I'll call strangers. Just I'll see two people who look alike, and I'll be like, "Hey, excuse me, are you guys twins?" Or I'll just be like, I'm sorry, could you help me out? And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "I have a bet with my wife that you guys are twins. are you guys twins? You know? And they're like, well, I'm white. This person is black. And it's just, I just like talking to people. Or I'll give compliments to people. Like I saw this guy wearing a Breaking Bad t-shirt. I just went up to him and I was like, cool t-shirt, bro. You know, I just talk to people. I guess that's how I make friends. Sorry, I just went on a tangent right here. What? What are you talking about? A lot of them do it. Some of them are truly lucky and do it. I'd like to connect with more with other TIs. Strengthen numbers. Yes, strengthen numbers. Someone say they were from a suburb in Chicago. Yes, someone did say they were from a suburb in Chicago. I think it was Miss Pedro Pedro. Oh, it was Brendan. It was Brendan. What has the stalking gang changed in you? Have you become a better man? Yes. Yes. I'm less reactive. I'm less reactive. Um, I'm more realistic about the world. I mean, I'm a bit less optimist as well, but you know, between optimism and pessimism is realism. I'm a bit more real about my view my view on the world is more attuned to what it actually is. And that's why I always say, you know, when you're going through gang stalking, it feels like everyone is in on it. Everyone's not in on it, you know? And just because, you know, people can be turned against you doesn't mean that everyone can be turned on you. Some people can't be turned on you. Some people, you know, will find out about this. You know, some people will be told about this crap and they'll just be like, I want no parts of this, you know? And then they can't go further and you know, let them know about, you know, pieces of evidence they've gathered through spying on you or things of that nature, or let them in on the whole gang stalking operation, you know. But yeah, it's made me stronger. It's made me wiser. It's made me wiser, and I mean, I feel like I've always been kind of wise, but definitely not as wise as I am now. It's given me purpose. More important than anything, it's given me purpose. I wake up every day with purpose, helping you, targeted individuals. You know, and I'm not gonna say like it's my only purpose, but it's definitely a purpose that matters to me greatly. You know, I used to have a purpose of helping people going through narcissistic abuse when I first started this channel, and now I'm just like, and you know, I always used to hear people like, oh, you know, you're saving lives with this information, and I agree to a certain extent. You know, like, I mean, I don't want to say I'm saving lives. It's really presumptuous, which is something that I'm not. But you know, I do agree that getting that information can really save someone's life, especially if you open up yourself to it and you really take it in. Pause. But when it comes to information about gang stalking, it does save lives. It saved my life. It sure did. It saved my life. You know, I feel honored to have this interview with Andrew McCready, you know? His video saved my life. To hear someone talk about directed conversation for the first time ever, besides myself, that saved my life. To hear him say like, you know, they want you down, they want, you know, they don't want anything good to happen in your life. They, you know, these people are evil. To hear him say that saved my life. To hear Dr. De facto say, you know, you deserve grace, you deserve mercy, which is where I get that from. I don't get it from the Bible. I get it from Dr. De facto, who said it, who is also a very religious person. But to hear him say, you know, I don't care if you messed up. I don't care if they caught you doing or saying something bad. You're no different than anyone else. You're not a monster for sinning. You're not a monster for not being perfect. You know, these people don't get to judge you. Are you kidding me? Everyone deserves privacy. Everyone deserves grace. Everyone deserves mercy. They are the people who should be. That saved my life. And it gives me a great purpose in life to wake up and to think to myself, you know, people out there need the validation, they need the community, they need the information to fight this every day because it gets in your head and it's like a virus, that's trying to destroy you from the inside out. Monsters. I can't stay for too long. I have a visitor at home. I gotta go. Someone sat next to me in a cafe blaring a YouTube video about TIs. Yeah, that's a pretty obvious move right there. Can you repeat what you said about pessimism and realism, please? I said between optimism and pessimism is lies realism, right? Things are never as good as you may think they are, and they're never as bad as you may think they are. The reality of the situation is in the middle. I do the same. It's really not as hard as people think. You get good at what you practice, Miss Pedro. If you work on it, you get good at it. I didn't have a choice. I quit my job because of workplace mobbing, and then I figured, I'm gonna try to open up a business, become a dog trainer. I've always said I wanted to do it. I never did, and here I am. It's either that or I'm gonna unalive myself anyways. Is what I thought at the time, like 15 years back. And I went hard. I went super hard for my business, and it worked twice. So, and within that business, I had to learn to talk to people, and even my landlord, who's now part of my gang stalking, but even my landlord was like, "Wow, the person you were when you first started and the person you are now is like two completely different people. You're like a people person. You used to like getting you to talk used to be like hell. And now I'm just like, it's like, yeah, I'm super comfortable with myself. I love myself, and it's really hard to, make me feel like I'm lesser than. So I talk to people. Why not? I want to. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I gotta go. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being part of the community. Do me a favor before you go, guys. Um, right next to the subscribe button, click the bell notifications on any of my video, or if you're on a computer right now, you can do it on a computer, on your PC. But after the chat, if you're on your phone after this is over, go on one of my videos, click the bell, click the like, Jai, please come back, subscribe to the channel. But gross, dude. But yeah. Um, yeah, click the bell, the little bell, and click the all so that you get all notifications and not personalized notifications. Because I am, kind of shadow banned here, and I need my core audience. I need you guys just as much as you need me. So, and I appreciate you guys just as much as you may appreciate me. So, if you guys can do me this favor, I would really, really appreciate it. As always, guys, you deserve grace. You deserve mercy. Love yourself first, always. Take care, guys. Talk to you soon.